Hey guys, today we're gonna do a new manga overview. This is Giganto Maxia or Giganto Maxia if you wanted to say it in English, by none other than Kentaro Miura, who is the creator of Berserk. I started to, become a manga fan because of Berserk. I took a chance and said, I'm going to take a dive into manga, and I was blown away by his work. I already know that he was actually great, but I always thought that Berserk was basically his only love child, right? That he is only doing Berserk because, well, unfortunately, he died last year and he didn't finish Berserk. And I believe they're gonna continue him to finish Berserk without him. And so I picked this up and I didn't know it was from the creator of Berserk, right? And this is basically a one shot, and I stumbled upon it by accident. So what is this? This is more like a lighthearted manga, and but you can clearly see his stamp on the world on this particular book. His art is phenomenal. It's extremely detailed. So it's about these two, you know, people, I guess. So this is a gladiator, and she is a mystic, and she is always on his shoulders. It's a little bit weird humor in there. I mean, it's not really, intrusive, but basically she is saying, "Hey, if you are warm, I can absorb moist and give it to you, and I'm standing over you," suggesting that she is, I don't know, like to pee on him, but I'm not entirely sure. So he also, the adventure is that he is thirsty. He wants to dive into this oasis, and it's some trap because it's some kind of an anglerfish creature. But then the anglerfish is getting defeated by sand people, and they were looking for them somehow. So they are getting captured. They're going back to some kind of a tribe in the desert, and and then basically they are see that there's some kind of a symbiosis between the people that live here and the insects, right? But not only that, they are being thrown into some kind of a arena, and she says that these humans or people are not really humans, but more like outcasts. And there is now humans, subhumans, and people that and gigantos. So what is the whole thing? It seems that there's some kind of an empire outside of this whole story, looking for gigantos or gods and stealing gems or their life force to do something. I don't know why, but they need it. So this guy here is called, let me double check before what's his name? Delos, and she is Prome, right? And he has to fight for his life. Not only that, it seems that this warrior looks like a giant beetle, right? Because his skin is hardened, and basically these people hate him because they are coming from that empire world, the human world that destroys the country or their civilization. They have done terrible things to these people's tribe, and these atrocities, and they basically he wants to have revenge, and he wants to take it out on this on Delos, right? Because he is representing the empire, because they think that they are coming from them. So they're gonna have a fight, and it looks absolutely fantastic. What I'm seeing is that Delos is just absorbing the punches, although he's having internal bleeding and all that stuff. But he's doing that because he knows he cannot beat this guy with only power. So he's using his restless move like this German suplex, giving this guy's brain damage, right? So he says, "Stand up and hit me with all your hatred and pride." But then in the meantime, other gigantos or gigantos are, coming. They are searching for these sand people. While this battle between these, heroes or, champions rages on. He's battering with all his might and absorbing blow by blow, but he's getting really hurt in the process. And then he stands up. So this hatred, and that is the purpose of these people, is turning into awe, like, spectacle in the ring. And this guy cannot believe it. So he's keep punching at him. But then he's using a scorpion deathlock move on him. Also breaking his knees and spine. But, he's way too powerful to get it out of the scorpion deathlock. But he's hurt. And that means he has a chance, right? Meanwhile, he's just thinking about the atrocities that's been done to his people. And he is now enraged. So he's getting braced for that. And then, doing another wrestling move. Like, I believe a pile driver. But he also warns his enemy, says, hey, clench your teeth. And then, this looks so awesome, man. And he's now shouting as he's, basically winning, right? And then he's both unconscious. So instead of the people are, going crazy, they are going crazy, but then with joy, and then basically they are, welcoming them into the home. Now, this girl that speaks very weird, very, how do you say, like, she's, of course, she's not human, I think. But she also talks without any emotion. And she says, basically like, hey, you are unable to function. The secretion of adrenaline has ceased and you are unable to function. Though I might provided you nectar, you will need 3 days to heal. And then she says, but I will not accept your defeat. And Prome does not have time to waste on Delos' recovery. So she says, the outlet is right above your head. Basically, she's going to pee on him with her nectar. That is so weird. And she's acting like crazy, but we don't see that. So he's waking up all, healed. And then children coming in, playing with the, with our hero. And she also saying, hey, this beetle it's broke. And then, I don't know, man, she's licking the thing. And it's a little bit suggestive. And then all the people are saying, well, she's a healer. Hey, what's going on? And then she is, kissing and licking all these elderly and babies. And everybody's now healed. And he's getting twisted into a pretzel. Right? And so this guy brings our heroes to... before that, he explains where he comes from. And because he thinks he's, the big guy thinks he is the enemy. And he says, well, I've been raised into caption and imprisonment, and that he is, was once a gladiator in some kind of a arena fighting for death. But then he while fighting, he changed that whole sequence when people, just like in a moment ago, cheering for both of the opponents. And then instead of leaving one of the arena because they are mostly being killed, they are walking out, both of them, because wrestling is now some kind of a sport instead of a game to the death. And he says that is what wrestling is all about. So this guy is in awe what he is saying, as you can see here. And he says, have you ever hated one of your opponents? And he says, no, they affright me, but hating, no. But to hate them, that would make me feel like I had lost, and I don't like that. So this guy is, totally in awe what he's saying. So he's bringing them to, the world tree, let's say. It's called Happy, the god of fertility. We see this eye here. And so this little creature says, the shard of Gaia, a Giganto. So it seems that a couple of Gigantos are roaming the world, or being, placed into parts of the world, and this other tribes reverting to that creature as a god, and then have a complete population and civilization built around that, right? So yeah, and then we see that also the leader of this tribe here is half insect because of the symbiosis, right? But then the Giganto has come. There are sightings that the enemy is here, and there is, I don't know, giant octopi from the Empire here, and it's lighting things on fire, killing people, right? So this basically more like, I don't know, heralds for the Giganto that is coming, and they are gonna attack the octopi and overwhelm them with their insects, which looks really, really cool, as you can see here. But then the Giganto is here, and basically the tribe is accepting death because they cannot do anything about this. It's the manifestation of extinction. So they say, hey, you need to go out of here because you are in danger. You have nothing, this is not your war, right? And then we see a part of the enemy as well, that they are coming from the Empire, conquering this whole land. And we see a little bit more of the human side, why they are doing this. They are receiving orders to conquer this land and finding the Giganto, and then the Empire has delivered them a Giganto to, conquer and battle them, right? But then these guys are interfering, and then this is happening. And from this moment on, I thought, I know she wasn't really human, but then she is changing into something else, and then starting reconstruct a reactor core, and then we see a construction, an assembly of muscles, skeletal structures, tendons, proteins, amino acids, and all that stuff, heartbeats, and then they turn into a giant Giganto destroying the octopi or octopi, and these people are like, what's going on? And so we have, I don't know, Attack on Titan, I guess. It looks freaking awesome, man. This is why I'm really into manga. It surprises me with a lot of things that you don't see coming at all, right? And it looks, and the designs look so good. And she's here in the middle of the forehead, and this is Gohra, so a third member of this duo, but not really, because it seems that the what's his name again? Sorry, Delos is this Gohra thing, and he is driving it, feeling everything. Basically, he is becoming it. But she can override him if things go south. And but she's giving here the orders like commence. And then he's doing this. And look at this design of the head, man. It looks so incredibly good. And he's doing some kind of a super clothesline, like more wrestling moves. And it's amazing how good it looks. And then he jumps into the air. And then, I don't know, does some kind of a leg drop on this Giganto. The Giganto is damaged, but, it has some kind of electricity powers. Fights back. And, I don't know, there's some kind of another pile driver, but then with a Giganto. It looks so awesome. I'm amazed how good this looks, right? And it seems that these other creatures on board of this ship here is controlling the other Giganto, but it's not working. But the Giganto is damaged, and then it walks towards the civilization of where the other Giganto lives and wants to absorb them. So Gohra is grabbing him and is doing some kind of fly him in the air, and goes into very far in the air, and he says, Icarus fall, and he goes down with a lot of speed, and the impact is like a meteorite, and he's coming out victorious. But then the insect people is saying, hey, the enemy is weakened, we can advance our fleet, and they are eradicating the part of the alien forces. But then Giganto steps in. He says, "Are you not our ally?" Delos says, this champion of the insects, right? So, and then he turns back into human form, and he's bowing, and he says, "Spare the lives of these people, please." So this guy doesn't understand. He says, "Don't you understand, Delos? What those bastards hiding and cowering back then have come to do to our tribe." So he says that they are, they have burned the sons in front of the fathers, rape wives in front of their husbands, spear grandchildren who were carrying grandmothers who could not walk. They threw all infants from villages into the nest of the sand scarabs, and yet you ask us to spare them. So she explains that Deimos is felt all the pain as Gohra, That is the way Delos wanted it. Prome believes that this was foolish. And you say it was Delos controlling the Giganto. We must begin thanking him. So this insect guy says, well, there will be songs sung about him and that he is a hero to our tribe, but he cannot let them go. These bastards must die. We have the right to vengeance. And then she steps in and she says, listen, using, telepathic voices, right? She says, Prome is giving those who live in the desert the opportunity to make a choice. Prome has the functionality to control the Giganto that is currently in suspended animation. And then they seeing land, what can be in the future. The sand is turning into grass and prosperity, right? Prome can use that functionality to make the Giganto defeated by Gohra leave this land. Or Prome could also make it to take root in the land, the individual you call your god. Crops will be possible in a matter of years, then decades later, centuries later, the entire desert will become a biosphere. Is it true? Is this the future of our deserts? I see vision of green in my land, they say. But she says, choose vengeance for the past or good tidings for the future. Choose. And then they don't know what to do. But our pride. But then a child is crying, and they say, not even the brave Ogun can defeat a crying child. And they walk away. So basically they choose, well, I'm not sure if if that's the good thing to do. I mean, if your whole population is reduced to a cinder and basically you want to, revenge for those people, I probably would have done it. But, hey. And basically, it's more like the end of the book, and they are having a chit chat, but Deimos cannot understand, certain things, while she is trying to explain also certain things which he doesn't understand, and vice versa. So basically, they have also some kind of a symbiosis. But then we also see what the Empire is doing to other tribes, reigning in their god, their shards of Gaia, right? And they are too late. And basically their mission is to search other Giganto, protect them from the Empire, and, live together. And they go from place to place. And also she's getting smaller and smaller because she is giving him the food and nectar to survive, right? And but then she says, please wake, Delos, now drink. And then he says, wait, what I've been drinking up till now? Nectar, basically her pee. But then he's done with it and he says, hey, there's this guy, who is he's a threat to this plane of existence here, and he says, "Food." There are some things that are not negotiable, and he's fighting, like a man is fighting a bear, and he is, I don't know, ripping a bear claw off, and then he falls down, and then he wakes up all rejuvenated. Rejuvenate? Is that how you say it? Rejuvenated. Yeah. And she's now smaller and smaller. And that is it for now, and she's gonna regenerate, and then the quest goes on, right? And that's basically the book. So what do I think about it? It's a nice one shot about seeing the good in humanity, and seeing awesome art with giant creatures battling to the death, and also inspiring because the tribe that hates humans, right? And they are convincing them to look the other way and become better creatures, better people. That is fantastic. And using their power to do good, and go from place to place to repeat the same. But it's more like a one shot. It's more lighthearted. The action is fun. The art is crazy good. So if you are a fan of Kentaro's, how do you say? Kentaro's work, and you want to have this in collection, yeah, definitely. For a one shot, yeah, you maybe read it once, but that's about it. I just read it once, but stay for the art and look it over and over again, because it's so good, so detailed, so awesome. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this book, this manga. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.